SoFi Technologies has broken out of a 1 month accumulation, being a very hot stock, flipping now into a uptrend, getting ready for that next movement. We did expect this $25 retest within our last few update about a week ago. We're about $1 shy, guys. Stock price is in a prime position for upside. So with that being said, guys, waste no time. Let's get straight into this technical analysis breakdown. First, we're gonna go to the weekly, guys, to get a very broad bird's eye perspective within the long term. Zooming out, out, and then we're going to go closer until we're very close with the hourly to wrap off the analysis. So as of now, guys, we're looking at the weekly analysis. So this is the last, 4 or 5 years of SoFi, the whole entire image. And what's very notable with SoFi is that we are in usually durations of consolidation, breakout, or ascension. Simple as that. Over here, when within these IPO range, when SoFi first to the stock for 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, we rose strong. Hence these very strong candles. 5 weeks started 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we had a parabolic sprint. Once this ended, guys, we stayed within an IPO range, just jumping between these two highs and lows for approximately 1 year before breaking the low point, being a very predictable area to go short. This did happen, guys, going into a downtrend for about a year until ultimately consolidation for another year. And then we were in an upward trend, pulling back to consolidation. Since then, we've been in a parabolic uptrend, guys, and this uptrend does not seem to be done as of yet. We did set our price target when we did break out around that $13 range at these IPO range highs, and we did reach that before pulling back. So on the weekly, guys, we're still taking presence within a parabolic sprint, and the focus point for our last analysis was noting that stock price has a euphoric strong move up. The bulls are in control now in a very tight pinch, and if we can get over this consolidation, which we are currently printing over the last 1, 2, 3, and 4 weeks, we can see that upside, that next big bar. We're currently seeing that big bar, guys. You would expect a test of $25, being that that is the top once again of this IPO range high, where stock price can combobulated more or less for 1 year within this duration. So we have approached that, rejected. Now it does appear within this consolidation, we're breaking above that, retesting 25. So keep an eye on $25, guys. Will be interesting to see what stock price does within that level. As from that perspective, guys, if we flip over to the monthly, each one of these candles represents 1 month. After that $25 level, guys, we now breach this major high, which is held the stock price down. If we can hold above that a little bit longer from a monthly, weekly perspective, start to hang over that for a few days and claim over that successfully, the next test will be the all-time high stock price level of SoFi, which was at $28.26, highlighted over here, guys. So there is a lot of potential for an all-time high break on SoFi. Once again, we've been covering this since $13, but on the monthly, you're seeing a parabolic sprint. Nothing seems to be over as of now. On the weekly, we're breaking out of this consolidation, which we mentioned in the last video, going up to go retest that $25 level, which we topped out. We're now in the daily analysis, guys. Each one of these candlesticks representing 1 day. This highlighted duration was a consolidation, which we mentioned. Whenever buyers stepped up at these levels, they did it with strength. After a sharp pull down, after a very long ascending trend, which we established early in this ascending breakout over here, we held on to this, guys, for a major level. Stock price within this trend, holding this yellow ascending trend line, moved up 60% before dropping within that. We didn't expect the pullback here, getting that $20 retest and bouncing off that level. Whoops. Right, bouncing off that with some strength, guys. Very strong. Once again, very strong bounce after a gap. Once again, a very strong wick. So we noted this, guys, a lot of serious buyers in this pocket. They have successfully won the battle. I don't think we come around to retest here, guys, but if we do, of course, you would be watching this $22 level and that $22.79. Very unlikely as of now, though. We are up about 60% within this test, about 70% or so to that $25 test. Likely to come up. Coming tomorrow, most likely, or the next day or so, testing that level, and then from there, we will see what happens, guys. If broken above that $25 clean with some buying presence, we should be going to test 28, 26 within a more medium to short-term price target for the next one, guys. So within the last video, once again, we were trading around that $22 level, mentioning 25 test will come. We should be getting that. As of now on the daily, nothing really to watch. You would like from a short-term perspective to see stock price trend over that $23.10 level. If you break that, that is weak from a short-term perspective, likely to come down and go test the top of this range, this consolidation jambo, which wouldn't be fun from a short-term perspective. But as of now, guys, once again, you don't want to be scared out with one little tiny indecisive day where the buyers end up holding strong with this wick, right? More or less, we should go and test 25 likely tomorrow. Alrighty, guys, so we've analyzed the weekly, understanding that we are breaking out within this weekly consolidation. This should lead us to about a few weeks of upside. So from the next few weeks, we are expecting higher price action. Going to test that $25 level, as we mentioned in the last video. Once again, guys, it's very important to keep this in mind. We're breaking over 1 week consolidation, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we're over this. Almost a bull flag-esque structure. Hence this pennant structure we have on the chart. Not the prettiest one, not completely formed out to the apex, getting very, very tight in this duration. But nonetheless, you do see a lower high and higher low trend squeeze out into a breakout. So as of now, we are experiencing that. Flipping over the hourly, guys, this is the last step of the analysis as we get a very short-term perspective within stock price. And as of now, we are seeing buyers establish a new trend. This could be something where SoFi stays within. For you guys who've been following these updates for quite some time, we have seen stock price stay within, these ascending channel S structures for some time. So we do see this channel forming. I don't want to note on this resistance as of now. It's not super applicable, but nonetheless, we see buyers consistently stepping up on the smaller time frames. Right after multiple hours of squeeze, they set a higher low, move stock price higher before coming down, setting another higher low, moving up higher, stair-stepping their way up in the most consistent way you can do it within a minute perspective. So from a minute perspective, we look incredibly healthier. Likely once again, just to outright come up and test this level 25 within the next day or two. Alrighty, guys, nothing really want to note on here. We'll keep an eye on this ascending trend line. If you see us break this low point within this current last low, from a short-term perspective, once again, flipping over to the daily around that $23.10 level, you could see short-term weakness within SoFi stock price, but there is in contention you dip a little bit below that, right around that $23 level, and then knife up. There's still a lot of upside here, guys. We will be following the ascending trend line and more or less just to test what happens at that $25 level, as once again, we could have various different reactions to this, and we will be watching that. As of now, we are suspecting stock price to get to that level, maybe halt for a couple hours or so, set out a flag, or just jumble around a little bit before making the next movement up. I do think all-time high is in store, guys. Once again, we've been following SoFi since these lower levels highlighted over here. Right, while we were in this cup and handle structure, which is why we initially covered SoFi, seeing this massive cup and handle with a lot of beautiful signs cooking up, getting tight for the next movement. Sure was a big movement, guys, moving from $13 to as high as $25. But once again, we do appear to creep up to these IPO highs. Once again, likely break over them. And if that does happen, guys, we will be testing all-time high, almost certainly from that perspective to that $28.26 level. So I don't think it's a bad time here to take a little bit of profits off SoFi. But then again, there is more juice left to squeeze. Keep it on the $25 level if you are a short-term trader or looking for a spot to trim, etc. We are technically overextended from a short-term perspective, but these kind of stocks can do this, man. Centering over the hood. We were talking about hood for quite some time within a very similar context, right? Around these lower levels being $77, right? You might say, hey, we're overextended within this huge duration coming from $30 to $80. Guys, be careful, right? We can have this huge, massive green bar squeezing the heck out of short sellers trying to do that, and that's what we've seen. So it's a different stock, guys, but we're seeing a lot of beast stocks carry their momentum strong. Not really a very hard market to carry momentum. So flipping back over once again to SoFi being a top leader within a very technical bullish setup, you got to link to the upside, suspecting that $25 retest in the short-term perspective, and keep an eye on that $23.10 level. If broken below, can see some short-term weakness. All right, guys, hope you guys find some value. We'll continue to monitor this as this transpires live. Have a good one, guys. Take care, trade smart, and peace.